Hey, it's Lucas, and today we're going to be trying this Pure Sun Farms Pink Kush for the first time. Before we get into this review, I just need to say super quickly, this is 100% legal UK medicine prescribed to me by a doctor. I will not be medicating in this video, I will not be showing the medication in this video. There's no reason to age restrict this video. So according to Leafly, Pink Kush is an OG Kush relative that is supposed to sprout pink hairs instead of orange hairs. It's supposed to be good for insomnia and pain as well. Currently on the Montu website, this is £60, so £6 per gram, and I'm going to be using this to treat insomnia and depression. So jumping straight into the packaging, this is what it's looking like. It is a white bag with the Pure Sun Farms logo on there. On the front, it says Pink Kush, dried cannabis, cannabis-based product or for medicinal use, Canadian grown, cannabis indica, THC 21, CBD less than 1. I'm going to assume that this picture right here is supposed to be Pink Kush. I think it looks pretty good actually. And then the back is pretty much the same as the front with different information on there. It says Pink Kush, route of administration for inhalation via vaporizer as directed by the prescribing physician. Warning, this medicine may make you feel sleepy. If this happens, do not drive, use tools or machinery. Do not drink alcohol, do not drive while taking this medicine until you know how it affects you. Do not drive if you feel sleepy, dizzy, unable to concentrate or make decisions, or if you have blurred or double vision. Prescribed as an unlicensed medicine under the supervision of a specialist physician. Keep out of reach and sight of children. Store below 25C in the original container. Protect from moisture, direct light, excessive heat and cold. Pure Sun Farms Corporation, blah blah blah, where it's from. Expires 27th of February 2025, but used within 30 days of first use. There's also a QR code on the back there if you want to scan it. I haven't scanned it myself, I don't know where it takes you. So I'm going to open this up and get the smell right now. I'm not going to lie, that was the most difficult packaging I've had so far on medical cannabis. That was super fucking hard to get into. I had to get scissors. I tore it along the original seal and it was still sealed underneath. Like, there was no way of ripping it open. I genuinely had to get scissors. But anyway, that aside, I could smell it. As soon as I ripped the original seal, it didn't break the seal underneath. I don't really know how to describe it without telling it to you. So I pulled back the seal, and then underneath that there's a ziplock, but there's like a plastic bit above the ziplock that you also have to, I assume, rip off when you take off the original seal. But it didn't, so I ended up getting scissors. Anyway, I could smell it before the packaging was open, I will say that. The first smell that hit me, I don't think is going to sound too appealing, but it reminded me of like a potato cupboard or a bag of potatoes, like earthy, almost a little bit like fusty, and I know that's not really the words that you want to describe the smell of your weed. When the bag was fully open and I really stuck my nose in there, I got a really pleasant sweet smell, almost like bordering on cakey in a way. Still had the sort of earthiness in there, but there's an overlying top note of sweetness there. The smells I get from this are sweet, vanilla, almost cakey musk. It almost reminds me of like a gelato or a wedding cake, that sort of sweet vanilla, almost cake smell, but then there's an underlying earthy, pungent, almost gassiness, but not quite. It's more, the gassiness is taken away by the cakey elements, but it's there in a way. The pungence is definitely there underneath the sweetness. I actually think this smells pretty good, so straight out the bag, I'm gonna give it probably, my mind's set between 7 and 7.5, so I'm going to give it a 7.25 for the initial smell. I'd say it's about 50-50 between medium-sized nugs and small nugs, but the nugs that I have got, they are frosty, they feel dense, there's a little bit of a snap to them. Apart from being visibly old, the bottom of the nug where the stem is yellowy/brown. The rest of the nug looks fine. The hairs on the nugs are definitely orange and not pink, but I can't complain too much about that. For £60, this is not bad at all. For the looks, again, I know I can tell this is old because towards the stem it's browny / sort of not white, but like yellowing a little bit. So if that wasn't there, these nugs would probably get an 8 out of 10, but because I can tell that they're old and they are kind of small, I'm going to give them, honestly, 7.5. They don't look bad to me. In the grinder, it breaks down more dense than fluffy, and the smell is an odd one for me. It's nice in a way that it's also not nice. To me, it smells like a petrol station in the middle of a field of sweet wildflowers. The sweet floral smell is definitely the top note, and the gassiness is underneath, but there's no getting away from either of them. It's a strange one, but to me it smells pretty good. I don't think it smells as good as the whole nugs for once, so I'm gonna give it 7.25 for the smell overall. So I got this to be a nighttime strain, and the way that I like to medicate for my nighttime strains is I will usually start my vaporizer at 185, and then I will step it up at 10 degrees every time it vibrates. But for the sake of the review, I'm going to start it out at 160 and get a few flavorful hits. The flavor at 160 is very, very sweet. I wasn't expecting it to be this sweet. It's floral, and there's also like almost a weird tang to the end of it. It's not tangy in the way like sour or anything like that. It's just got a little offset to the floral sweetness that comes through. The lingering flavour in my mouth at 160 is definitely floral. I can't describe it any more than that because I don't know how to describe floral flavours. I don't really get them that much, but this is definitely flowery, almost rosewaterish, with a slight tang at the end, which is, it's quite pleasant. I wasn't expecting it. The sweetness, I was expecting just to ride throughout and keep getting sweeter, but there's the little tang at the end, which is quite nice. But at 160, the definite flavour that I'm getting is floral, almost rosewatery. I will say that I'm actually surprised at how strong the flavour is at this. Most of the medical cannabis that I've had so far in the vaporizer has not been very strong flavoured at all, but this, the flavour is definitely coming through. I'm not even needing to try that hard. At 170, the sweetness is definitely tapered down, and you get more of the earthy sort of potatoey vegetal taste. At 180, it feels like all the sweetness is gone. I'm struggling to find any flavour right now. I'm getting no sweetness. Honestly, it just tastes like generic vaporizer taste. I don't know if anybody else knows what I mean when I say this, but when I switched over to vaping, everything just sort of tasted like mighty, and I don't really know how to describe that other than a little bit plasticky, a little bit popcorny, maybe a little bit burnt. Like, it didn't taste like anything. And now, to me, I'm just kind of getting vaporizer taste. I'm not getting any terps through at 180. Anyway, anywhere past 160, I've not found much flavour. 160 tasted great. I will say that it was sweet and it was really good, but just upping the temperature seems to be eradicating any sense of flavour for me. Again, 190 just tastes like vaporizer, so I'm going to up it to 210, and honestly, I think I can predict that it's just going to taste like vaporizer from there as well. At 210, with a nose exhale, I'm getting a sweet, gassy, diesel-y flavour, which is weird. It went from 160, where it was super sweet and nice, to 170, 180, 190, no flavour whatsoever apart from like a burnt popcorn taste that you expect from a vape. And then 210 on a nose exhale, diesel-y, sweet gas with a hint of that popcorn burnt flavour. It's weird with this. I think I need to keep experimenting with the flavour and the temperature. But just so far, how do you jump from being super flavorful super flavorful at a low temperature to having no flavour to being at the max temperature and having flavour again? That's really odd to me. So while I wait for the effects to kick in, I'm going to jump into the rating, starting with the smell. So I had a bit of trouble opening the bag, like I said, and I could smell this before the bag was open fully. It doesn't smell bad at all to me, actually. I didn't get much, if any, of the medical sort of smell that I've described in the past. I think it's because this didn't come in a plastic tub, it came in like a Ziploc pouch, so that's probably why that didn't happen. It's got a sweet, earthy gas smell to it that for some reason I like, so I'm going to give it 7.5 for the whole nugs. The ground nugs don't smell as nice to me, which is different because usually the ground nug always smells better, but this, although it's sweeter, it's also got this tang that I don't quite like, so I'm gonna lower it a little bit down to 7.25 for the overall smell. Moving on to the looks, this doesn't look bad for a £6 strain to me. I got a few decent sized nugs in there, the rest of them were popcorn nugs, which knocks it down a little bit, but the nugs themselves look good. They've got a nice dusting of trichomes on there, they've got some orange hairs. You can tell that they're old towards the stalk at the bottom of the nugs. It's kind of whitey, brown, yellowy coloured, so that knocks it down again. If these were fresh nugs, these would look really, really good, and also this is a radiated flower, so, you know, take from that what you will, but for me, I don't think they look too bad. considering the price, so I'm actually going to give the looks 7.25 again. The taste is where it starts to go downhill for me. It tasted alright in the beginning, like sweet. I got a sweet flavour that I can't really describe too much, but you know, it's kind of sweet. A little bit gassy, the gas is always there, but the sweetness overpowered it, and it was quite pleasant and I liked it, so I rated that. Can't remember what I rated it. I think I gave it like a 7 or something. But as soon as you raise that temperature, now bear in mind I went in increments of 10, so I don't know where between 160 and 170 the flavour was lost, but when I jumped from 160 to 170 there was just no flavour whatsoever. It just completely disappeared, and it didn't come back until I was right at the max temperature, 210. There I got a lot more of a fuely taste with a sweet aftertaste. It's really, really weird how there was a lot, well, not a lot, but like some flavour at the beginning and then some flavour at the end, but just nothing in between. That doesn't make sense to me. At the beginning, I really thought that this was going to taste good, but I can't really give it a good rating for flavour, so I'm going to have to give it a 4. Like, I don't want to give it a 4, but I feel like I have to, because the flavour itself, when it was there, was nice, but just the fact that there was no flavour after 160 is crazy, so it can't go any higher than a 4 for me. So jumping into the effects, right now, I feel super relaxed. Like, I don't feel like I'm just going to go melt into my bed or anything like that. I feel, my shoulders feel slumped, my eyes feel heavy. There's definitely been a little bit of vision change, like everything feels a little bit more HD to me. I feel like if I were to vape this on a nighttime and I had a couple more capsules after this, I'm definitely going to vape some more after the end of this video, so I might end up asleep, but for now, just off one capsule at first vape of the day at 25 to 2 in the afternoon, I feel good. I definitely don't feel motivated, like I don't want to go run a mile. I don't feel like I want to go to the gym or do any housework or anything, but I definitely feel like I could stay awake, maybe watch a movie, read a book, play video games, whatever. It's not an energetic strain whatsoever. I guess I feel happy. I don't feel sad. I don't feel uplifted like some of the other strains have made me feel, just super euphoric and happy after vaping them, and I feel, even if I don't feel energetic, I feel happy. With this, I don't feel euphoric. I feel the longer that I stand here talking, the heavier my eyes are getting and the more relaxed my body feels. So after vaping a little bit more of this, I probably will take an afternoon nap, not gonna lie. I do feel, the more, again, I'm gonna repeat myself, the more I stand here and talk about it, the more sedated I do feel. So yeah, this is definitely making me feel tired and just definitely super relaxed. Like, ignore what I said earlier about not melting into my bed. I feel like I might just go do that after this. This is definitely a body high. I don't really feel a mindset change like I mentioned earlier, so that might not be the best for me mentally. In the terms of my anxiety, on a night my mind races, so I have to smoke, well, vape, you know what I mean. I'm gonna use those terms interchangeably, but when I say smoke, I mean vape. So, you know, I smoke more on a night time, and I like the strains that sort of get in my head, and how, I don't really know how to describe that. The strains that lift me up without giving me a boost of energy. So maybe if I vape a little bit more, this will lift my spirits, but just in terms of my head, it doesn't feel much different. I don't know how much that waffle made sense, but this is definitely more of a body high than a head high, is what I'm meaning to say. 7.25 for the looks, 7.25 for the smell. I'm gonna lower down the taste, honestly. No, I'm not. Yeah, I am, just a little bit. 3.5 for the taste, not because it tastes bad, just because there is no taste. If there was taste, then it would probably be up there, you know, in the 8s, but because it was there, it's like a tease, you know? You tease me with a little bit of flavour, and then you were just like, nah, just kidding, you know, no flavour actually. And I don't like that, so 3.5, just based on the fact that the flavour was there and then it wasn't. If the flavour stayed and continued, then it would have probably been up there in the 8s, like I said, but this strain's making me repeat myself a lot. That's what I have noticed. I reckon this is probably one of those strains where if you got 2 stoners in a room and you gave them a bag of Pink Kush and you just, left them alone, they would chat shit. They would chat so much shit. That's what this strain is giving me, vibe-wise. Effects, I'm going to give it, for now, I kind of want to stick with the 7.5, but I'm going to actually, again, give it 7.25. I would like more of a mindset change, but I can't argue with the body height at the minute, so 7.25. Taking into account that 3.5 that I threw in there for the flavour, this is getting harder and harder to talk. This is getting... Wow, bro. It's really hitting me now. Considering the 3.5 that I threw in there earlier, I am going to give Pink Kush from Pure Sun Farms a 7 out of 10. It's pretty good, I will say, for the price point. £60 for 10 grams or £6 per gram, whichever way you want to look at it. It's one of the better ones for a cheaper strain. It doesn't look terrible. It doesn't smell like medical pot, and that could be like a double entendre, right? Medical pot. As in, like, it doesn't smell like a medical pot, but it does still smell like medical pot, 7. That's what I'm gonna say. This is a very unfocused strain. It's hard because, like I said, I don't feel like my mindset has changed very much at all, but I can't fucking speak. I just can't speak. 7 out of 10. If you like this video, leave a like, leave me a comment telling me if you've tried Pure Sun Farms Pink Kush. How does it compare to, I think it's the Aurora one, which I was going to try next if I like this one, because the Aurora, that's hard to say. The Aurora one is, I think it's either 80 or 85 pounds, so it's 20 to 25 pound difference, and if it's better, I might try it. So let me know how that compares if you've tried them. Do you like the Pure Sun Farms Pink Kush? Subscribe for the full review if I ever get there, bro. Yeah, subscribe. Peace.